Have you ever wondered if there is something out there that shows you more specifically what your life path and your destiny looks like that isn't astrology or your Enneagram or your personality test? Turns out there is, and it's called our human design chart. Hi everyone, my name is Olivia and welcome back to Blade of Desire. This is your home for all things astrological, spiritual, and wellness related, all in one. Today I want to explore the idea of a human design chart and dig a little bit deeper into what makes up a human design chart. So we'll be getting into specifics of how a human design chart is made and what exactly this means, because it's a lot more in depth than my typical astrology or spirituality video, but it's really exciting and really cool and combines a lot of very valuable concepts into its fruition, which is why I wanted to talk about it today, because I think there's something that everyone can take from a human design chart, even if it's confusing and super complex to figure out at first. Human design is a modern system with very ancient roots. It was created in 1987 by Robert Allen Krakauer. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And he created it after what he described as a mystical 8-day excursion to Ibiza. After that, that's when the human design chart in and of itself was created and channeled by Robert. Robert described a human design chart as like a user manual for your bodily energy that you're born with. And it's based off of multiple different disciplines and essentially takes concepts of these disciplines and puts them all together into one chart. Uses Western astrology, the Chinese book of changes, the Kabbalistic tree of life, quantum physics, genetics, and I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yes, and the chakra system. So it's rather complex in nature, but to me that's a really cool and good thing because it tells us so much information about ourselves, and it combines everything into one total graph, which is called a body graph. Your human design chart starts exactly like Western astrology does, so it uses your birthday, the time of your birth, and where you were born, and that's how it starts. So we first put that information in to derive points at the time of your birth, but we also use this information to do something that is unique to the human design chart, and that is essentially going 88 days before your birth. This is what is called your design moment, and like I said, it's 88 solar days before your birth. This is important, and it's specifically 88 days because this date is when it is said that your neocortex in utero begins forming. So that is the decision making, the most subconscious part of you. It makes you who you are. Going back to using just your general birth information, so this would be at the time of your birth and not the unconscious imprinting that comes before. These planets and the placements of these planets in your birth chart activate several gates, which we'll get into shortly, but it'll activate gates in your body graph. So that's why astrology, Western astrology, is really important to the development of your human design chart. The Chinese book of changes is the next principle or concept that is used to create your unique human design chart. So let's kind of dive into what that means. The Book of Changes is about 3,000 years old, so it's a very historic text, and it's used to outline hexagrams. These hexagrams create 64 unique gates that lie on the body. And these gates, again, like we kind of mentioned earlier, are activated by certain systems or certain things in our human design chart. Each of the 64 gates translates to a different part of the archetype of a human experience. Gate 1 equates to human self-expression. Gate 19 is all about sensitivity to needs. And Gate 47 is mental clarity through struggles. So as you can see, each different gate, that was just a few examples, but they all represent different ideals and different archetypes when it comes to the human experience. And when we have things that flow over these gates, that's when they're activated, and we see them more specifically in our own lives, and that's what makes our human design chart unique. Next, we get into the visual part of the body graph. So that's when we get into chakras and the Kabbalah. Traditional chakra teachings teach 7 energetic centers in the body, but the human design chart and Robert Allen, he taught 9 unique chakras in the body, and you'll see 9 chakras made up in your own unique design chart and body graph. The addition of 2 chakras is unified and created by an evolution in human consciousness, according to Robert. These centers are connected by channels, which is explained by the Tree of Life or the Kabbalah. Each channel consists of 2 gates, and when these channels are activated, the channel becomes defined, and so do the energy centers that it connects to. So what exactly does that mean? Because I know that sounds kind of confusing. So essentially what that results in is that there are certain gates or channels in your body that are going to be more activated than others. So essentially it's like having a planet in a certain house in astrology. A planet is going to activate that house and vice versa. So when you have channels that are activated, you see those energies come along in your life more specifically. Next thing that we look at when we look at a human design chart and a body graph is a little bit more specific and a little bit more science-backed. So this is when we start to look at genetics and quantum physics to really create the full embodiment of what our human design is. Robert taught that we are influenced by what's called neutrinos in science, and neutrinos are tiny subatomic particles that essentially are passing through everything in this world at every second, and they pass at the speed of light. In 1998, scientists confirmed that these neutrino particles do hold mass. So in theory, according to quantum physics, they can hold information, and they absorb and let out information as they pass through objects, according to Robert. He taught that those frequencies that neutrinos carry pass through us at birth, so that's why not only your birth date itself, but also that subconscious imprinting that happens 88 days before when your neocortex is developing is so important, because we'll see neutrinos pass through at both stages. So overall, when you look at human design, it looks so complex because it is a really complex process, and there's a lot that goes into it. So we'll look at astrology, the Chinese Book of Changes, the chakra system, quantum physics, genetics, etc., etc. There's so much that goes into a human design chart, and that's why it's so important to kind of analyze everything as it comes, because there is so much that we can go through. Overall, human design is something that is incredibly complex and honestly kind of difficult to understand. It's something that I've really been working on recently to be more complex about and to understand in its entirety. So that being said, I really hope that you all enjoyed today's video for what it was, and I hope that this gave you a better understanding of what exactly goes into human design and what it's made up of. I think it's really important. I'm just very big on, I want to understand how something is made and not just what it's made of. And I feel like this helped to give a better look into what goes in a human design chart. And I hope you guys felt the same too. That being said, if you enjoyed today's video, comment down below what your chart type is. I would love to know. And I will see you guys so soon in my next video, where I'll probably dive into something else human design related, because it's been really interesting to learn about and research, especially with my love of astrology. So I'll see you guys super soon, and until next time, peace and love. Bye.